Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karva Vahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Avamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannotivisita Sadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Samasta Janakalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattva Bodho Vidhiyate Tattva Bodho Vidhiyate. As it was promised by our author that he was going to tell us the Tattva, what is the essence of Tattva. So Tattva he had defined as in the Inquiry into Truth, the chapter when it started, he defined it as Atma Satyam. Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya iti. So only Atma is Satyam. Other than that Atma, everything whatever is present is Mithya. Whatever is perceived is Mithya. And to prove that, the Tatastha Lakshan was given and the Swarup Lakshan was given. So whatever the Atma is at present covered by the three bodies, it is covered by 5 koshas, it is covered by 5 pranamaya kosha, 5 pranas, all those 3 states. But what is it actually? It is Satchidananda Swarupa. So we were removing the 3 Tatastha Lakshanas. So first we had removed the kosha, first we had removed the 3 sharir. Then we removed the 3 states. Now today we will see what is kosha, because it is Pancha Koshatita San. If you remember, it was said that Atmakaha Sthula Sukma Sharirat Vyatiriktah Pancha Koshatita San. Then Avasthatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Sarupa Sanyastishtati Tadatma. You have to slowly by heart these definitions. What is Atma? So what it is not, we have to remove first, then we will get what it is. So we had removed the 3 bodies from it, and then we removed the 3 avasthas, the 3 states of mind, 3 states of consciousness. And then today we will see the 5 koshas. What are those 5 koshas? We will see right now. So a quick recap. What we studied yesterday was the deep sleep state. So the deep sleep state, in the deep sleep state are what is our experience, our experiences. I don't know anything. Why I don't know anything? Because there is one vritti that is constantly flowing, that is merging and emerging, and that is called the abhavakar vritti. That is constantly coming and going, merging, emerging and merging. So that abhavakar vritti means what? That the object of that abhavakar vritti is absence, abhav. It does not know anything, and that is why when the mind is engulfed with that vritti, with that one thought that I don't know anything, that time our experiences that I don't know anything. But then, what is the praman of sushupti? How do we know that we had slept well? Can anybody help me in that? How do
Experiencer and I remember the same. The
we?
pratyabhikya.
Yes, pratyabhikya. Yes, you're right. So experiencer and the rememberer should be the same. That is called pratyabhikya. So that pratyabhikya tells us that I only was the one who experienced, because I remember when after I got up, after I awoke, I was the one who experienced that, because I remember, because the rule says the rememberer and the experiencer, they both should be same. And that is why, because I remember, means I only was the one who was sleeping. It wasn't somebody else. Otherwise, I wouldn't have remembered. Okay, so at that time, what is our experience? I don't remember anything. I am dead towards my body. I am not aware of my gross body at all. I am not at all aware of my gross body. That is the experience at that time. So at that time, I don't know any relation. Whatever the world has, whatever the waking state has created, whatever the dream world has created, both are not present at that time. Both are not present. The sthul abhimani, what is it called? The sthul sharira abhimani, what's the name given?
Vishwa.
Vishwa. And the sukshma sharira abhimani?
Tejas.
Tejas, very good. So the Sukshma Sharirabhimani and the Sthul Sharirabhimani both are absent at that time. And what is the name of the Karan Sharirabhimani?
Pragya.
Pragya. So Pragya means Prakarshena Agya. Prakarshena Agya means what? He does not know anything. Agya means he does not know anything at that time. Why doesn't he know anything at that time? Who will tell me? Why doesn't he know? Why doesn't he know anything at that time? What is missing? Why doesn't he know? What is the definition of causal body that we saw yesterday?
Anirvachaniya.
Anirvachaniya.
दोनों शरीर का कारण भी
शरीरद्वय कारण मात्रम. Why are others quiet today?
Anadi avidya.
Very good. Anadi avidya. Rupa.
Sat Sarupa.
Sat Sarupam. Very good. And last one. That will apply here. That's the answer for my question. Last point.
Abhavakar vritti.
No. Last point. Nirvikalpaka Rupam. Nirvikalpak Rupa. So it is Nirvikalpak. So there is no knower known difference there. And that is why this is happening, because we don't know anything, because it is of the Swarup of homogeneous thought. There is no difference. There is no triputi in that. There is no knower known difference in that. Gyata, Gya, Gyan, that three, the difference is not there. In the world, whenever we are seeing anything, whenever we are perceiving anything, we have to have this difference of three. The triputi has to be there. This trio has to be maintained. I am different than the watch. I am knowing the watch, and the knowledge is there in my mind. So these three are different, isn't it? So there, when we are sleeping in the deep sleep, where one homogeneous thought is there, because it is overwhelmed by that abhavakar vritti, the thought of absence, and that is why there is no other thought, because in the current sharir only there is no difference of knower, known, and knowledge. Gyata, Gya, Gyan, there is no difference at that state, and that is why we don't know anything. Our experiences, I don't know anything. Okay, so this Nirvikalpaka Rupam is very important, because it is defining that Karan Sharir. When that Karan, that Atma only is identified to that Karan Sharir, that time it is called Pragya. Pragya, it is not knowing anything. What is the difference between Samadhi and deep sleep, by the way?
Samadhi is practiced. It has to
Samadhi is
be,
practiced.
and deep sleep it's always there.
Yeah, it is natural. It is natural, and that one is cultured. Another difference,
डीप स्लीप में अज्ञान रहता है, covered by ignorance.
very good.
समाधि में
Knowledge रहता है. तो deep sleep में, that at that time we are overwhelmed by the ignorance, because we are at the causal body level. हम लोग कारण शरीर पर हैं उस समय, इसीलिए हमारा जो चित्त है वो पूरी तरह से अज्ञान से ढका हुआ है, अज्ञान से प्रभावित है. At that time we don't know anything, but during samadhi the knowledge is bright. The knowledge has overwhelmed us. The knowledge is as bright as possible, and that is why we are aware of that state at that time. In this state, in the deep sleep state, we are unaware of everything. That is awakeful awareness. That samadhi state is awakeful awareness, and here we don't know anything. So this is the difference. So now we should go into the next topic, that is called koshas. It's very important and very interesting topic. So today we don't have anybody to share. So Pancha Koshaha K. If you have your books, you can read there. I'm reading it. Pancha Koshaha K. Why it is K? Because Kosh is Koshaha. So Kaha Kau K. It is plural. It is pulling for the Sanskrit people. Pulling plural. Prathama. So Koshaha K. Annakah Kau K. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Cheti. So there are 5 koshas. The 5 koshas are Annamaya. You have Shubhashi, but can you share? I'll make you the post. Can share if possible. So Panchakoshaha ke Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Cheti. So these are the 5 koshas. Okay, we will come to it. I'll tell you, I'll explain. First, let me read it. Then what is the Annamaya? What is the Annamaya kaha? Annarasenaiva bhutva. Annarasenaiva vriddhim prapya. Anna Rupa Prithivyam Yad Viliyate Tad Annamayaha Koshaha Sthula Shariram. What is this Annamayaha? Anna Rasenaiva Bhutva. What is the modification of the Anna Rasa only? Anna and Rasa, the food. Then Anna Rasenaiva Vriddhim Prapya. It grows by Anna only. And Anna Rupa Prithivyam Yat Viliyate, and it goes back to Anna only. Which Anna? Anna Rupa Prithivyam. This Prithvi is also Anna Rupa only. It goes back into this only. So, which is of the form of Anna, Tad Annamaya Kosha Sthula Shariram. That is Annamaya Kosha. What we call as Sthula Sharir. That is Annamaya Kosha. Okay, so this was the meaning of this paragraph. Now let us see. Annamaya Kosh. This first and foremost, let me tell you the meaning of Kosh. So be very careful here. Kosh means it has come from Kush Dhatu. It has come from Kush Dhatu. Okay, so what is Kush Dhatu? Kush Dhatu means it is used in Samshleshane and Alingane. Samshleshane means to stick to something. Whatever sticks to something, Samshleshane. And Alingane means become one with something, embracing something. So this Kush, it has got two meanings in Samshleshane and Alingane. Either it becomes one with something, sticks to something, or it embraces something. Okay. So here when we say Koshaha, how is, so something is covering up, which covers up. So Kosh means a sheath. Sheath means that covers up something. So there are examples given. How is it covering? So there are many types of covers. Like the sword, that also has got a cover. The sheath is into the sword is into the sheath. The sword is into the sheath. So it does not allow us to see the sword. It does not allow, the sheath won't allow us to see the sword. Similarly, if something is kept in a box, the jewel is kept in a box. So the jewelry we won't be able to see the jewel because it is in the box. Isn't it? Similarly, if the cash is kept in the bank, it is not seen, isn't it? So these are the types of covers. So are these 5 sheets covering the Atma like these, like the box covering the jewel, or the sheath covering the sword, or that the bank covering the cash? No, it's not like that. Okay, but it is appearing as something else, like the water is appearing as the wave. So our attention goes to the wave and not the water. Our attention goes to the shape of the wave. And that is how that wave is actually covering up the water. Are you understanding my point? There are differences in covering also. How is it covering? It's not covering because Atma cannot be covered. When we say that the jewel is being covered by the box has to be bigger than the jewel. The sheath has to be bigger than the sword. Isn't it? But here we know that Atma, there is nothing bigger than Atma. Then how can anything cover that Atma? So here when we are using this word Kosh, it only means that it is covering up, like it is appearing as something else. It is covering like the wave has covered the water. Our attention does not go there. So here also the Kosh, the body, Buddhi, Buddhi is so much Dehabhiman is so much that our attention does not go to that Atma. Our attention is only on the 5 sheets. That is how it is covering. Okay. So in this way here, you see how is it covered? Like you can give other examples also, like the jewelry is covering the gold, like the pot is covering the mud. Our attention does not go to the material cause. Our attention does not go to actually its essence. That is how it is covering. Okay, a child who has always seen the waves, his attention will go only to the wave, to the movement of the water, to the crust and the trough of the water. Similarly, that I is covered, the self is covered. When my attention goes to the body, my attention goes to the mind, my attention goes to the intellect, my attention goes to the sorrow and joy, the man and apman, honor and dishonor. My attention does not go to the essence of I. Who am I? I'm not these bodies. This is how it is covering. That is why it is said kosha, kosh. So kosh, where is the kosh actually? Kosh is in the body, in the mind. Where is it? It is not outside somewhere because it is covering the mind. It is covering the buddhi, it is covering the intellect. So that kosh buddhi is in the mind. So our what should be our sadhana? Our exercise should be to let the body be as it is and to remove the kosh buddhi. Our exercise, our sadhana should be to remove the kosh buddhi from the intellect, from the mind, and let the body remain, because it is acting on the mind. That is why. So many things have been. So 5 kinds of superimpositions on Atma. These all 5 koshas are 5 kinds of superimpositions on that Atma only. And we feel that we have become like that. So the first one, I'll tell you, the first one is Annamay Koshaha. Annamay. What is that Annamay Koshaha? Annamay is a physical personality. The physical personality. So that is the vikar of the Anna, the modification of the Anna, the modification of the food. But I take the shape of that modified food as I. That is a laughable thing. But we feel that is the reality. That is the only reality. If somebody calls me fat, I feel bad. If somebody calls me dark, I feel bad. If somebody calls me whatever related to the body, I feel bad because I feel I am this body. So but what is this body? Modification of food. Whatever food I take, that is only modifying to become this Annamaya Kosh. But I don't, right now I feel I am this body. This is called the physical personality. First and foremost, our mistake, 5 mistakes. So this one was the first mistake. Second mistake is Pranamaya Kosh. What is this Pranamaya Kosh? In English, we call it dynamic personality. The dynamic personality. So there, whatever the pranas, the activities, I feel I am doing everything. But actually, the pran is doing everything. Then comes emotional personality. Emotional personality means what? I have some emotions, I have bhavana, I have my thoughts, I have my love or hatred, whatever. All those things are there in this personality. And I feel I have become like that. The dharma of the thoughts, the dharma of the bhavana, that has come on myself, that I have superimposed on myself. Then comes intellectual personality, fourth one, intellectual personality. Now, what happens with this intellectual personality? This intellectual personality, again, the decisions that I take, I feel I am doing this. This is Vigyanmay Kosh. Vigyanmay Kosh, intellectual personality. So I become the doer. निर्णय किसका है? मेरा है. I am the person who decides. All the decisions are mine. This is fourth type of misunderstanding. Galat fahmiya. Tendential. Then last one is tendential personality. The Anandamay Kosh, where all my tendencies are there, where all my sanskars are there, impressions are there. That is tendential personality. Anandamay Kosh. The 5 koshas. So here, whatever anand, whatever joy I am getting, I feel that joy is mine. I am getting the joy. So 5 types of personalities. First one being physical personality, then dynamic, then emotional, then intellectual, then tendential. Okay, so these are the 5 types of personalities that we have. Actually, these have been superimposed on me, and I have mistook myself as these personalities, these koshas. Annamay, Pranamay, Manomay, Vigyanamay, and Anandamay. These are the 5 koshas. So now first and foremost, we come to, okay, I'll explain a little bit of all these. Annamay kosha. What is called Annamay kosha? Annamay kosha is whatever the modification of that Anna is called Annamay kosha. Whatever the modification of that food has become this body, and I called it Annamay kosha. Then comes Pranamay kosha. What is the Pranamay kosha? Pranamay kosha means Pranamay, that personality, the dynamic personality that gives me strength to do, the Shakti, the Bal to do any action. The main personality is what I am doing. So this Pranamay personality, this dynamic personality controls all my actions, whatever I am doing right now. Then comes Manomay. Manomay means the emotional factor in us. We need a lot of emotions whenever we are serving or whenever we are devoting ourselves to the higher. We need emotions to serve. Without the emotion, see, emotions are different. To have emotions is different, and emotionally being developed is different. These both are different things. So maybe that one has got a lot of emotions, but he is not emotionally developed. It can be possible. Because he may get very psyche sometimes because of his because he has no control over his emotions. That is not called emotionally developed. Emotionally developed person has full control because his intellect is working there, and he knows where to show his emotions and where not to show. He has control over that. So emotion, what is this personality? Manomay, whenever his emotions are developed, he's emotionally developed. Wherever art is concerned, he needs emotions. Emotions. In the case of I have got one vocal cord, and this is called art. Whenever we are creating many from one, that is called art. Many from one. So like I have got one vocal cord, and from that vocal cord we are creating so many swar. I have got one hand. With that one hand, we are creating so many dance movements or so many kalas, or I can do so many things with my hand. I have one color. With that one color, I can make so many paintings. This is called art. For expressing art, we need emotions. So in this way, emotions have to be there whenever we are serving also. So higher the development of emotions, higher is the seva vritti also inside that person. Okay. So emotionally developed person can only give his life for something higher. He can do a lot of puja, he can do a lot of seva, he can serve the country, he can also give up his life for his country. Only when this sheath is developed, his manomaya kosha is developed. These such people bind the community, such people bind the society, bind the family. Like when Ramji used to be there, as kapi ek na sena mahi, Ram kusal jana pucha nahi. Ramji, whenever he used to be there, nobody felt as if I am neglected or I'm left out, because everybody used to feel that Ramji is with me. Ramji has asked me if I'm all right, if I need something. This is the emotionally developed person. Emotionally developed person only can bind a society. Then intellectual aspect, Vigyanmaya Kosha. What is Vigyanmaya Kosha? That is the kosha where cause hunting takes place. He wants to know about the cause of anything. Anything. It may be political, it may be situational, it may be geographical, whatever. So he wants to know about the outer situation as well as his own life also. He's got that thing developed, Vigyanmaya Kosha. But he does not help anyone, then emotionally they are underdeveloped. If he is not helping others, that means he is emotionally under. He may be very, very intellectually developed. Intellectually developed does not mean that he will also help the others emotionally developed. No. Maybe one kosha is very developed, but the other kosha is nil. It happens. Then he won't help others. He will keep his knowledge to himself. He will be very self-centric person. That won't be helping others also. Okay, so these are the things that differ from a person to person. So a personality is made with these 5 koshas only. If some personality is developed, that means that kosha is developed. Then the last one is Anandamaya kosha. To the extent this bliss is deep, it is of high level. I am experiencing a lower level joy or a higher level joy. And do I want the joy from outside, or do I want to get inside and be on my own to to experience the joys? That will define our blissful sheath, this Anandamaya kosha. What is it? See, everybody has got different types of joys. Everybody in this world, whether it is not only, I'm not talking about only human beings, even the animals, they have got different categories of joys. The joy of an ant will be very, very different than a joy of a dog or a joy of a lion. It is different. The dog, how it wags its tail when it sees its owner. It is completely different. The expressions are different. The joy is different. Isn't it? So this will define, and similarly in the human beings also there are categories, because our intellectual sheath is developed. So we need to have different sorts of levels in the Anandamaya kosha also. Somebody may be indulging in all sorts of vasanas outside, wine and all those things, drugs, etc. Their blissful sheath is very low. Very, very low. Some people, they may be having some hobbies as to read books, or to be quiet, or to globe trot, to visit places, to go to pilgrimages for sightseeing and all. They have a little bit of higher quality level of joy. Similarly, there are people who want to go inside, who want to delve inside, want to know about their own self, who have meditative minds, who, whenever they are coming out, they just want to rush back inside, because they have got a higher taste of that. They feel that I'm not lonely when I'm alone. They want to be in solitude. They enjoy that period when they are with themselves, because the joy is of maximum level at that time. So here also it depends what enjoyment are we taking. One saint used to say that If you want to understand a person, you should see what he does when he's alone. If you want to see a person, if you want to understand a personality, why to understand others? Let's talk about ourselves only. When we want to try to define ourselves, who actually we are, we should find out what we do when nobody is looking at us, when we are not under any observation and we are alone. At that time, what we are is actually our personality. What we do, what we take enjoyment from is our actual personality. Because at that time, nobody is on our head, nobody is observing us. We are completely free to do as we like. Okay, so this will define our Anandmaya Kosh. So a saint and a pig, they also enjoy. But there, the class, the difference of that class is so much because of this sheath only. So one has a very high class. Mirabai also had one Anandmaya Kosh, and we also have one Anandmaya Kosh. Same Anandmaya Kosh is there. Okay, so now let us come to Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kaha. So Annamaya Kaha. Annarasenaiva Bhutva. Annarasenaiva Bhutva. See, here Mayat Pratyay is there. What is Annamaya Kaha? Annarasenaiva Bhutva. Okay, so Annarasenaiva Bhutva. Thank you, Yogesh. Annarasenaiva Bhutva. Annarasenaiva Vriddhim Prapya. So Annarasen eva Bhutva. Whatever we take, whatever food we take, after we take that food, what happens? After we take that food, and the food gets modified. Anna rasenaiva bhutva. Because that food gets modified and then it becomes the body. Anna rasenaiva vriddhim prapya. And that the essence of that food that nourishes us. Vriddhim prapya, it is growing because of that anna rasenaiva. And then when it gets destroyed also, where does it go back? It goes back into that Annarupa Prithvi only. Prithvi is also Annarup. The earth is also Annarup only. Because all the Anna is coming from that Prithvi only. So after destruction, again, this body goes back. Where does it go back? It goes back into that Prithivyam Yad Viliyate Tad Annamaya Kosha Sthula Shariram. That is called Sthula Sharir. That is called this gross body. This is called the Annamaya. So Annamaya Kosha actually means this Sthula Shariram. Okay. So now here Annamaya word is there. So it has got Mayat Pratyay in that. It has got Mayat Pratyay in that. Mayat Pratyay, what does it mean? Mayat Pratyay is used in two senses. The first one being Prachurarthe, the other one means Vikararthe. The first one is Prachurarthe. Prachurarthe means it is full of something. Like we say, Papamayaha, Punyamayaha. It is full of Pap. It is full of Punya. So you can make out such words. So Prachurarthe. And the other word is Vikararthe, means modification. Something has been modified into something. Modification. So here it is mainly Vikararthe. Vikararthe means it is a modification of that Anna. That Anna only has modified into this body. This Anna has modified into this body. So here mainly it is Vikararthe and it is not Prachurarthe. Prachurarthe. It is not Prachurarthe. Prachurarthe meaning it is full of something. It is full of Pap. It is full of Punya. It is not like that. Okay. So a modification means what? Anyatha patti. Modification means what? Anyatha patti. Something is being converted into something. Anyatha patti. Anyatha patti means the milk has been converted into the curd. Now you cannot get back that milk again. It has been converted. This is called vikar. So leaving the prior state and attaining some posterior state, it is called vikar. What is it? Leaving the prior state and attaining the posterior state, that is called vikar here. So anna rase naiva bhutva. So whatever the parents take, whatever the parents have, the food they take, anna rasa, that grows and goes back into that food that has been taken by the parents, that only get converted into that ovary and the sperm. And then this body is made. This body is made by the anna and the rasa taken by the parents. That only converts into the ovary and the sperm. And then this body is conceived. This body is conceived. So that is why the anna went through some modification. The anna went through some modification and became the seed. That is why here it is called anna rase naiva bhutva. Rasa is important. It is not directly through the anna. It is not directly that from, it was not directly born from the rice, dal, chapati, etc., wheat, etc. But it has converted. So that conversion is important here. Okay. So anna rase naiva bhutva, it has converted. Bhutva, ban gaya, kuch ho gaya. Bhutva. And then the body starts growing in the womb. Again, when it is growing also, again, it is taking the anna rasa only from the mother. Whatever the mother eats, that is again converted into that rasa. And it is the body is growing. Till when will it grow? Till it has completely grown in the womb. And then it is thrown out. When it is thrown out, again, it starts taking anna rasa from outside. And what is the definition of anna? Anna means adyate atti cha. The definition of anna is adyate and atti cha. What is being eaten and what is eating us, both the ways. Oh my God, it is eating us. Yes, we are eating the anna or anna is eating us. Both the ways. When we are drinking tea or coffee, the tea or coffee is also drinking us. When we are eating chocolates, the chocolate is also eating us. Whatever we are eating, that food is also eating us. So this is the definition of anna. Very interesting. So anna is what? Adyate and atti cha. What is being eaten and that is also eating us. So here prithivyam. Now what is happening? Anna rasaneva vridhim prape. It is growing through that anna and rasa that is being taken by that body. And then afterwards, when it has completed its cycle, 80, 90 years, 100 years, whatever, anna roop prithivyam yad viliyate. Then again it goes back to the anna roop prithvi only. Why anna roop prithvi? Because this earth is magical. This earth is very, very magical. You throw something there, you throw one grain and it gives back a lot of grains. You put one mango seed and it will convert into many mangoes and give it back to you. That is why it is very magical. So we give one and it multiplies and gives us back. So as if the earth is the various form of the same food. As if that earth is only become the various form of the same food. So everything is from the earth only. Whatever we are having, whatever we are eating comes to us from the earth only. And that is why crops, leaves, fruits, whatever, all are forms of earth only. So that goes back into that earth only. So earth gives us, multiplies and gives us everything. So anna rupa prithivyam yad viliyate. So whatever we are taking as food, that has modified as the body. So, see, when our body gets some wound or it has got some cut, The rice or the dal that we had taken, that does not come out and start flowing. It has converted inside. So that is why it is said here that Anna Rasenaiva Bhutva Anna Rasenaiva Vriddhim Prapya. It has converted. It is converting continuously. It is converting everything. So here that is why the Anna Rasenaiva Bhutva Anna Rasenaiva Vriddhim Prapya Anna Rupa Prithivyam Yad Viliyate. It goes back into that Anna only. This is called Sthula Shariram, Tad Annamaya Kosha. This is called Annamaya Kosha. And what is the purpose here? The purpose here is to tell us that I am making that food sheath only as I. My attention should go to the idamta of this body. This body is idam. I can see this as I. So it cannot be I. The food which was outside has become myself now. I have become that food. My weight has become that food. Everything I have become that food right now. So interesting. So if that food wasn't modified, if I am that food, if my body gets cut, then rice should flow outside. But it does not happen. Thank God. Otherwise, dal and rice, whatever we ate, that will come out. So it's very dangerous. So everybody will know, acha, you had this today. Very good. Okay, so that is why it is converting, and our attention does not go there. That is why it is called sheath. Our attention does not go there. That it is all modification of that food only. How can this modified thing be I? Because I can see this as idam. We never say that food is I. But when it goes inside, magically it has turned into I. Imagine the whatever is kept outside, the ice cream, the pizza, or Chinese, or the noodles. We ate everything. We don't call it I. But after we ate it, after it has gone into my body, it becomes I. Our attention does not go that side. This is the purpose why this has been taken up. To discriminate that this food sheath cannot become I. It is not possible. So there, the cause was, see here, now if we look again into the causes of this Annamaya Sharir, can you give me 3 causes of this Annamaya Sharir? This Annamaya Kosh? We have studied all. 3 causes of Annamaya Kosh. Three causes of Annamaya Kosh. Define Annamaya Kosh. Define Sthul Sharir. What was the cause there?
Panchikrit Mahabhut.
Very good. One is Panchikrit, Panchamahabhut. And there, the efficient cause was? The efficient cause was?
Satkarmajanyam.
Satkarmajanyam. Why did you forget, everybody? You cannot forget all these things. Efficient cause was Satkarmajanyam. This being first cause. Second cause is? Just now we saw here. Here only. What is it? Anna. Food. It's not that difficult. Food. Food is one cause. Panchamahabhut and the actions are another cause. And one more cause is there. Who will tell? One more cause. You all have been repeating it so many times. So many times you have repeated it. All of you all. Meenakshi ji has repeated, Abhamma has repeated, Seema ji has repeated, Geeta Amma has told me, Shubhashish has told me. What is the cause? Cannot forget like this. What is the cause of two bodies?
Country.
Yes. Simple. Karan Sharif. It is not that difficult. So food, one cause of this body. Second was the Panchamahabhut and the actions we categorize into second point. And the third was the causal body, Karan Sharif. Now the closest one that we interact with every day, every time, so many times in a day is the food. Closest. Closer being the actions and the five Panchamahabhuts. The causal body is very far. Our attention does not go there. So that is why this attention is being taken to that Annamaya Kosh, so that our attention goes there, because we are interacting with that food so many times that it should become our habit to see it as Anna and not to see it as me. Actually, we are so much identified with this body that Anna that was outside just now has become myself. This is called Annamaya. And that is why Annamaya Kosha here, the food sheath. If you all have books, in the books the translation has been given as food sheath. That is not correct. It should be food modification sheath, because it's not directly food. Kosha, that has already converted, because it is mayaha. Mayaha means that prachurarthe, that vikararthe. We have to take that into consideration, and because it has modified, that Anna has modified into a sheath, and it is covering the knowledge that I am not this body. I have become this body magically. So what should be my sadhana? Should be to remove that kosh buddhi from the mind, from the buddhi. Kosh buddhi should be removed. Let the kosh be there, but the kosh buddhi should be gone. Outside kosh, no problem, we can use it. See, do you have experience of growth of body? We don't have. Do we remember how from childhood we came to adulthood, then we came to whatever our present age is? We don't experience unless we are told, or unless we are deliberating on it. Our attention does not go there. If we increase our weight, we don't know, we don't come to know. The weighing scale will tell us. We are nicely eating, and then suddenly one day we saw that I have increased 1 kg weight. It happens. Then again we start dieting and all. We are not aware of it unless yes. Do we know how we are aging? No, unless we see our photographs. We don't know. So here also we should feel that unless I know about myself, that this is food outside that is being converted, this is only a modification of that food. I won't be able to discriminate between myself and this food sheet. So these experiences are dependent on something else. The experience that I am body is dependent on something else. So how can I be that? Whatever experience is dependent on something else, that cannot be my experience. That cannot be I. That cannot be Atma. So interesting. So that is why this aspect is false. Which aspect? This food sheep is false. Because it depends. It depends on the food. It depends on something else. When I see and compare my photographs, then I remember, oh, I have changed my looks. Looks are changing. Yes, my hair is started graying. Yes, the wrinkles have started coming. When I compare my photographs at that, otherwise I'm not experiencing them. I don't realize I'm aging. I don't realize it. Okay, so that is why here it is Annamaya Koshaha. Annamaya Shariraha. So Sharira means Shirya Manatva. It is continuously decaying. That is why Mamta cannot be of that Atma with Atma. Mamta, wherever we have got attachment, that attachment is only a bodies to a body. It cannot be of one Atma to another Atma. Because there is no second Atma. There's only one Atma. So how can one Atma get attached to another Atma? It's not possible. And that is why if there is any attachment there, that means one body is getting attached to another body. Okay, so here we complete this Annamaya Koshaha today. Revise it properly, and next time we will see Pranamaya Kosha. These are very interesting topics. Okay, you'll enjoy all these topics, but please be on time, give your notes, try to revise, and keep this knowledge in your mind. Unless you again rethink about it, this you have to make this knowledge your own. Like we eat the food digested is different, food eaten is different. Whatever food is digested, that only will give you energy. Similarly, here also we listen to many things, but unless we digest it, we make that knowledge as our own. We again and again chew it. Unless we do it, that knowledge won't become mine. It won't be handy. I won't get it whenever I require that. It will all get it will disappear. So that is why tapasya is required. Any knowledge requires tapasya. Any material knowledge, worldly knowledge requires tapasya. So this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, requires a lot of tapasya to hold it. Try to think about it. Try to make your notes, whatever possible notes you can make. I know all of you all are busy, but still keep yourself very, very alert while reading or writing anything about the spiritual aspect, because it will help you a lot in the future. Okay, we'll end it here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.